So, this woke ideology, it's like a cancer. And for too long, good Americans, good men and women haven't stood up to it. And we're getting more engaged. And that we've had enough. We love this country. We love our people. There's no better place in the world than the United States of America.
Patriotism is a core part of the American identity, or at least it used to be. Recent polling shows that sense of pride may be slipping. Joining us to discuss, Emma Withrow from the Fact Check team. And I know you looked at some new polling about how Americans are feeling. What did you find?
Yeah, so Gallup has been tracking Americans' levels of pride for decades now, and we're now seeing some of the lowest numbers they've ever recorded. So just 38% of U.S. adults say they're, quote unquote, extremely proud to be an American. That's actually the lowest number since they started even asking the question back in 2001, with the highest rates of American pride, obviously right after the 9/11 attacks.
And it must vary, but what did the research say about why this is on the decline?
Yeah, it definitely does vary, but it really has to come down to the fact that it's extremely partisan. So today, over 90% of Republicans say they're still proud to be an American, but then among Democrats, that number's fallen to just 36%. So the gap between parties is obviously wider than it's ever been. We've seen that, disparity there, but it also has to do with age. So less than half of Gen Z adults say they feel proud of our country, and then it's also much higher among boomers and older generations. They're close to 70 or 80% saying that they have, American pride and believe in this, our country's American dream.
Absolutely, as with many things, there is that generational shift there. It seems to be widening. Emma, thank you. Emma's going to join us in a few minutes to discuss this further. Since the inception of the United States, flying the American flag has been a symbol of patriotism and national pride. But after 244 years, Americans' feelings of the flag might be changing. Emma Withrow from the Fact Check team joining us now. I know you dug into some recent polling on this. What does the flag mean to Americans now in 2025?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on who you ask, which I guess is inevitable. But there's not a ton of recent polls on Americans' view of the flag. But back in 2022, YouGov, they polled about 1,000 Americans, and about 60% say they have a very positive view of the flag. That number jumps a lot higher among Republicans, white Americans, and also older adults.
So overall, it sounds like support is still strong, but not across the board?
Yeah, it really depends on which type of group you're in, whether it be political party, gender, race, that type of thing. The poll shows that younger Americans, especially those under 30, and black Americans are less likely to view the flag very positively. But it's also important to note a majority in both groups still favorably view the flag, but it's more about intensity. So it's also worth noting that 54% of Americans say they have a flag at home, and of those, 40% fly it daily, while another 30% display it just on holidays or special occasions like the 4th of July.
Absolutely. I was going to say the holiday week. And so this conversation, it feels like, is growing louder. Emma, thank you.
Thank you.
For more on this Fact Check team topic, including links to their sources, scan the QR code or visit thenationaldesk.com.